Hello everyone, I am Extra Cheesy 87 and this is Let's Play Through Daybreak 2 Part 100, the big triple digit number. Another one to add to our collection of Let's Plays that have over 100 parts. Do we have 10 of those yet? I feel like we're probably pretty close to having 10 triple digit Let's Play. Maybe not quite, because there's a couple that are almost there. Like I have 3 different ones that are 96 parts, which is kind of funny. Or at least 2. I think I have 3 Let's Plays that are 96 parts long, which is just kind of random, but because it's Yakuza, it's Trails 2, and maybe a Zur or Zero. I think Zero is 96 parts. That's it. That's the one. This is what I wanted to say before we go up and fight a monster or whatever. Oh, yeah. You know how we break in 100 videos with complaining about Windows? This is a more minor complaint this time, for sure. But something that's so annoying is anytime I want to go to the damn recycle bin, because I'll delete videos, and then Windows will be like, we're going to keep some of them, dumbass. In case you didn't want to delete them, which is like good.
Even after I stifled every sign that was here.
I'm glad you guys do that sometimes, because sometimes you do click on the wrong thing and delete it. But you try and go to the recycle bin, and every time you type in RECY, and then it doesn't pull up the recycle bin, and instead it fucking searches the internet for the word RECY, because that's a thing people want to do in the search function. And it's like both with the actual Windows search, which is mostly dog shit and I don't use it, but even just like within the file explorer, it'll be like, oh, would you like to search the internet for that? No, motherfucker, I want to go to the recycle bin. It ain't all that difficult, man. With that being said, they did actually fix the display second monitor taskbar thing I was complaining about. I think last time I complained about it, it actually was fixed. I just didn't know yet. Like the update that I was complaining about that also broke my mic, did fix the taskbar disappearing on the second monitor whenever you turn that monitor off or it goes idle. Also, Swin's here.
Guess there's no fooling the divine blade of silver. Or Van's nose, for that matter.
What the fuck is Swin gonna do?
An ambush? When did he get behind us? It reminds me of Joshua back in the old days.
Don't insult my mans like that.
Freaking hell. You were striking a kill, weren't you?
Obviously. Right now, I'm the Three of Swords.
I'm the Three of Swords.
As the Ace of Swords partner, it's my duty to remove any unwanted pests.
Swin, you didn't even like being the Three of Swords. What are you talking about? Like, at least give him some, like, you know, give him that Cody level corrosion that was like the whole city or something. I just don't buy, souped up S is gonna be any fucking problem.
You surprised me, Nadia. The way you showed up on that last day. To be honest, I didn't think you had the nerve.
Is that the first time they've acknowledged that we can time travel? Because, like, I mean, I guess I'm not really surprised that they know we can time travel, but if they know we can time travel, don't they realize they're absolutely fucked and that they literally can't win? Because no matter, even if their scheme goes correct, we're just going to time travel back and eventually we'll find the one way.
Not enough to follow my lead joining Ace, or to come and stop me yourself.
I learned the bulk of your backstories when we joined forces 2 years ago. So I know how much guilt you feel over your former partner. Is that where the corrosion slipped through?
Not quite. This is something I chose for myself. It happened the moment he came into contact with me during our first night at Nemeth. It was late, and I couldn't sleep. So I left the villa and went for a walk on the beach without telling Nadia.
Nadia, you're fucking slacking. You should have noticed that shit.
Then all of a sudden, Lapis... No, Altera appeared right in front of me. She took off, and I gave chase. eventually leading me right to him.
Yep, that's the thing you should do.
He'd already been on the island, waiting to pull me back into his ranks. There was no way he could be alive. As his killer, I knew that better than anyone. But then, he showed me his face. And the more we talked, the more of Ace I saw in him.
Did Ace do a lot of maniacal laughing about how he's gonna reshape the world? Because I don't really remember that. I mean, I guess you know him better than me, but...
No amount of logic or reason could get me to shake the notion that it really was him. I missed how it felt having him to depend on. Having him there to support me, the way he used to.
But he didn't support you. He used you if he faked his death.
That's why I made the decision to join him.
What the fuck?
To stand at his side to the bitter end. To see his ambitions through, no matter what they might be. The second I thought this, something crimson filled me, and all my memories of that night were sealed. They stayed dormant until the very next day, when the perfect moment came to betray you and turn my back on Nadia.
God, it's so fucking stupid.
Swin.
So he was on the island from day one, huh? It's almost obvious in hindsight, considering he was in cahoots with the Oathbreaker at the time.
Beyond that, your memories were closed off. It had been troubling me how there were no signs beforehand.
You were planted as part of a subtle gambit to snatch the pieces of the 8th Genesis away from us.
Which he didn't need, by the way. He's been able to lose them all, and it's perfectly fine. It's all part of his plan.
Also, the Gardenmaster could fulfill his ambitions.
Whatever they may be.
Is that really okay with you, Swin?
You fucking loser.
Don't you realize how much grief you've been putting Nadia through?
Of course I do. But as long as he continues to be Ace, I won't act any differently.
Shit's so dumb.
That's the one and only way I can atone for what I've done.
No, because, like, the way you do this is, like, have Swin have sympathies for Ace, potentially, but at the end of the day, his oath to protect Nadia is stronger. That's the last promise he made to Ace.
Corrosion is powering him up. But wait!
It's stronger than anything we've gone against so far!
Yep.
Accepting the corrosion of his own volition has allowed him to bring out its full potential.
Damn true, partner.
He appears to be staunchly committed to this. And unlike before, there's no contradictions to pick apart. It won't be so easy to get through to him.
No! There has to be a way! Don't worry, Aggie. None of this changes the plan one bit. I'm bringing S back, period. If that means having to fight him, then fine. Anything for the best partner a girl could ask for.
Plus, Nadia already kind of
Help me
beat his
up,
ass that
everybody.
one time.
I'm gonna need all the help I can get. Nadia. Okay then. I'm with you. We're all with you. To the end. You'll always have me in your corner. What sort of upperclassman would I be otherwise?
If you have something to prove, Swin, then let's see it. This ain't just about atonement anymore. Your current partner's got you on the brain. Show us you can look at her with your head held high!
Fine. Take down you, Nadia. And everyone else you've got!
Yep. At least he's got some monsters, but... I mean, it should be Swin and the Grindel at the same time, maybe. I could buy that. That's kind of annoying, because we do have some low HP party members.
Here goes!
We did, forgot to mention this, but there were a few things we were able to make a even better divinity
Got this in the bag.
proverb thing, and there were like 2 new quartz
Let's stay on the offensive.
that we could get. No, you want a coin bullet. We're still coin bulleting.
Take this!
Now, they're gonna keep doing this whole you can't die shit. I probably should give Dan, like,
Take this!
one of the defensive
Time for a
master
little
quartz.
payback. activate.
Okay, Van's not gonna die. He's not gonna die.
What to do? Huh?
Going all in!
You're not really casting any. Doesn't it give you cast time?
I'm not going
Yeah.
easy.
I mean, in theory, but you're not actually getting cast time.
Let's stay on the offensive.
In that case, I'm worried about the crit.
We've got
Here
this
goes.
bag.
So it's just ult so you get the heal.
Go, Tetra!
I didn't expect that to full heal you. I don't know why it did, but thanks.
I'm taking you down.
Initializing. Stop right there! Initializing drive.
Ah!
Thanks, pal.
Get him, Ren!
Yeah, that's pretty not bad. I didn't mean to do
It's
that.
time. What?
There!
You can do it, QT!
QT, damn true partner.
Can't take much more.
My move now.
Yep.
Let's do that!
Our chance! There!
You can do it!
And don't kill everyone else.
You aren't getting away.
Okay, you're just hitting Van. That's fine.
Cross. Cypher.
That's far enough!
Did that do 4K through Guardian? Because that's like actually insane.
Got this in the bag.
Initializing. There!
Thanks, pal.
Is that all you got?
Here we go.
You're the one that was like 4 seconds ago, like I can't do this much longer.
Zypher activate.
Too slow. You're done.
Time for a little payback.
I mean, he threw me kind of hitting. I'll give him that.
Nadia!
Yeah.
Ren!
Okay. Van, buddy.
Stop right there! You are.
You'll pay for
I
that.
only did 2K that time.
Here goes.
Well, that time it made us swear. I don't know how it works, man.
Let's do that. Go get him, Nadia.
Zypher activate. Zypher activate.
Nadia! I'm going!
Go, Tetra.
Yeah. Get him, Ren.
No, I won't give up.
I'm on the up and up.
Double Buster Cannon. Is that allowed?
There's still much I have yet to learn.
Your Potter lets you have 2 Buster Cannons?
Pretty impressive, Nadia. Your needle arm's steady, and your threads aren't wavering a bit. Looks like you've finally gotten over things enough to treat me like an enemy.
Like, she beats your ass. In the book. You think she's gonna straight up kill you. Remember?
I couldn't get over you if I tried.
No, I mean, it's all part of her master plan, but Swin doesn't know that shit. I remember that he's like, oh, right, okay, I guess I'm just gonna fucking die.
But I'm still gonna fight like I mean it. Anything to bring you back to me. And then, once I do, we can laugh about it together and welcome LP home with a smile. Nadia.
Oh, it is kind of weird. I mean, I on one hand, I can buy the idea that like they're closer now, right, than they were back when they killed the Emperor. But like the whole point of that gambit was that she wanted the Emperor to think she was being serious about killing Swin. So if she could do it back then, why can't she do it now? Or at least like I feel like she should acknowledge like, hey, it's more difficult to fight you now than it was back then. Something like that. Because, like, I can buy it implicitly that, like, it's harder to fight him now because it's been, like, a couple years and they're a lot closer, but on some level it is kind of... What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Like, it feels a little... Not off-putting, disconcerting, like... There's some dissonance, I guess, the idea that, like, this time she's having a hard time doing it when she's already done it before, I guess.
Punk-ass bastard! Wake the hell up already! Or are you just gonna leave your partner a sniveling wreck forever?
What he said! There's no reason for us to keep fighting!
Talk all you want. It won't change my convictions. Sorry to cut and run, but I'm pulling back.
Swin! Us!
He's
Yep.
gone.
I don't know if I was supposed to... The only thing I noticed was his zipper. I don't know if I was supposed to notice something else there.
A tactical withdraw, hmm?
I mean, I'm still somewhat giving Swin the benefit of the doubt that he's not a complete and total dumbass. Like, I don't know what... So, there's three options. A, Swin's a dumbass, right? That's what's the main option. That he buys into Ace's shit for some fucking reason. Option 2... He's not a dumbass, and it's all part of his master plan, and it'll make sense later when he's, haha, you fell for my ruse. Which is probably what they're going to do. Option 3 is that he's not really a dumbass, but it's just mainly mind control. That it was just he had a moment of doubt, and then, bah, you got fucking mind controlled. And that's really all there is to it. Of the three options... I mean, none of them are very attractive to me. Which one would I prefer? I guess the idea that Swin didn't really buy into it, but instead it was just he had a moment of doubt that was seized upon. That one, the problem with that is that, well, it's just mind control, which, come on, guys, please stop. But at least in that case, it's like Swin's mostly blameless. If Swin... The problem with Swin, all part of his master plan, was to pretend to be a bad guy, to do something, is... That just feels really cliche. And then the problem with Swin being a dumbass is that, well, it makes him a dumbass and kind of like really, really... hurts his overall characterization, which I hate, because Swin was actually one of my more well-liked... I mean, I really like Swin and Nadia, right? Of the characters that have been added in the last few games, they're, like, pretty top tier.
Only a temporary one, if I had to guess.
Yeah, but he won't be catching up to us anytime soon from down there. Holding up okay, Nadia?
You think he would have grown out of the whole making the girl you like cry phase by now?
Yeah, I'm fine. Let's keep going. Maybe we can fix S by taking out the source. Nadia!
It stands to reason, seeing as our primary goal is to end the corrosion.
The Gardenmaster, the 8th Genesis, and the Crimson Grendel. They're the root of all this. Put a stop to them, and Swin should return to normal.
In that case, we should continue on without delay.
If we screw around too long, Ashen's corrosion might start up again.
Well, no. We have the Genesis, dummy. They can't do that again.
Since Swin's here, that means the Gardenmaster's probably roosting nearby. Stay sharp, guys. Let's close things out with a bang.
They're like a big sign down here that explains the plot. we keep looking down and like, I don't know what I'm supposed to pick up on, but whatever. I mean, I feel like that's implying that it's all part of his master plan, which...
We found our way forward.
is whatever.
That kid sure knows how to put up a fight. Can't say I'm a fan of him when he's not on our side.
Take that back! You should be a fan of S no matter what side he's on, because he's so strong and cool.
We'll give him one of
She's
those.
trying to put on a brave face. I'm glad she's trying to
I don't know if
present.
I'd define Swin as cool.
Whew, that hits the spot.
I wouldn't call him, well, prior to I'm gonna believe the ace shit, I wouldn't call him a loser. I don't know. Swin
There's
is...
so many! What a pain.
He's got a
They
little
should
bit of
make for
dork
an
DNA in him,
interesting
which I like.
opponent.
I like it when characters are a little dorky. Not like, you don't want to go full dork, but like a little dork codedness.
Oh, wow. What a nice little chest.
We appreciate that. Rin, you okay over there? Alright. Yo, dude's
Looks like a
going to the
chest.
Spike convention. Don't be blinding me, man. I'm just saying, if I was an evil mastermind, I just wouldn't put in the
Path's
things
all
that you
clear.
hit with a fireball to turn on the elevator. That's me, though. I'd be like, sorry, the door's locked, and there is no switch that you can activate to turn it on.
I've been on the lookout for any surprise attacks, but I don't think that boy's planning any.
Well, we should keep our eyes peeled just in case. But he might be with the Gardenmaster already. Looks like a chest.
U materials still don't really... I mean, I guess if you upgrade everyone's weapon, every section, you could maybe run out. But, like, the type of person who's going to be doing that is also the type of person who would do fights. So... I just don't... I don't really know how the U materials are in the game. Because it's like, you get so many
Looks like a chest.
Let's begin, shall we?
that they have no reason to exist. Like, if on a poverty playthrough, where I avoid almost every fight, I still have way more U materials than I could ever use. And only ever upgrade, like, 2 characters' weapons per section. It's basically, it's like Van and then, like, 1 other character get weapon upgrades each section, and we still have... Well, I guess that would actually give us a surplus, because we're not using it as often, but it's still, they only cost, like, 1 to upgrade. And we've got, like, 70.
I'm sensing a powerful force coming from up ahead.
The root of all this evil is waiting just beyond here. It's time we dealt with the Gardenmaster.
He's put us through hell and back.
You know another thing I would
so it's
do?
time we return the favor. We're giving him a one-way ticket to Gehenna. And then we'll end this nightmare once and for all.
I don't know, maybe.
We should be able to rest here.
I wouldn't put
That
any
hits the
healing
spot.
machines before my boss arena. I'd be like, sorry, buddy. Are you stupid? You think I'm gonna put a healing machine right outside my boss arena? You think I'm just gonna stand here and watch you guys, like, you know, equip and cook up some food and take a nap and, you know, call up Hermes to come deliver you something through via space-time? You out your damn mind. You crazy. I guess we just did all this, so we don't really need to do it again, but... Anything? One thing that was is apparently we're missing like we're missing one of all the other combined stuff. Like we're missing assassin's gloves, which I feel like I have somewhere. I feel like I remember buying those. Maybe I couldn't afford them. We're missing a colorful scarf, wherever the hell you get that. We're missing a lighter and a spoon. I guess that's the main one. The main one is I wouldn't mind the scarf. I mean, it's 20 arts is not a ton, but I will say the physical accessories feel way better than the art accessories. Like, you know, the top tier art one is 30 arts versus like, I guess it's only 30 strength, but 30 strength feels better than 30 arts. And 1500 HP feels way better than 150 EP. And then like some of the others, like, you know, Aaron has the accessory, it's like plus 50 strength, right? Doesn't it? But you used to. Where'd it go? Yeah, it's plus 50, man. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Honestly, do I need this? Yeah, think about it. I feel like since we got the stupid infinite CP quartz, you don't really need the extra CP as much. Like, we went from, like, we have no CP ever to now Van at least has a ton. I don't know, maybe it's more effective than I thought. Now we're going to be like CP poor again, but 50 strength is a lot.
Isn't this a surprise? You've clambered inside before the corrosion could even begin. No doubt it was your 3 days of fruitless, ungainly struggles that led you here. Perhaps a round of applause is in order.
Took long enough for you to show.
There's the 8th Genesis. And that man in the coat.
Otherwise known as the beast clad in crimson armor.
So this is where you've been carrying out the corrosions from.
That's right. Nice of you and your friends to join us, Spriggan.
Whatever the fuck that is. Nobody knows what that is, dude. You gotta pick a better brand.
He really is different from before.
Obstinate mules. Not one speck of grace or elegance to be found among you.
Get their asses.
Even after failing over and over again, you picked yourselves up and trudged all this way.
I mean, we could say the same to you guys.
And I'd do it again in a heartbeat. That's just how important you and S are to me. You should know what a greedy girl I am. I won't stop for a second until I've got you all to myself. Just hang tight. You'll be home free before you know it. Then you won't have to let this freak boss you around anymore.
Oh, come now, Nadia. No fond feelings to spare for your brother.
And I'm glad Nadia's back. You know, the game did start to... The quality went down as soon as Nadia left. That's all I'm saying.
And after all it took to reunite us, you were everything to me.
Like, you know, when I say I like the Nadia and Swin duo, I'm being honest, but I will... That is, like, it's 80% Nadia doing the heavy lifting.
Haven't you tried to get into her head enough? And not just her. Your corrosion has brought harm to so many others, forcing them into committing crimes they never would have considered. My great-grandfather left the Genesees behind as his legacy. I won't allow you to abuse them like this.
Never would have considered. Surely you jest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Maxim would have considered blowing himself up with a bomb.
Their misdeeds were always within the realm of possibility.
Yeah, but...
My contributions amounted to no more than a slight
Oh, that's that fucking bullshit. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? So, like, let's run it down. Okay. Ashen, for some reason, thinks Van and Aaron killed Sal. Alright. And she wants to get revenge. I suppose I buy that. Would she plan an assassination? Probably not. Like, you know, she would at least want to get some info first. Maxim's gonna blow himself up to kill... What's his name? Aslan. Nah, that's not in the realm of possibility. That shit's absurd. Celeste thinks Brigard died as a result of having saved Van, and so we have to kill Van. Honestly, one of the more sensible ones. We'll give that one a pass. Fairy thinks we did bad shit with Almada, and we should be killed in the street. Nah, that's not plausible because she didn't even treat Almada like that. Not in the realm of possibility. What's the other one? Coup stuff? And we're just focusing on the main characters. I mean, there's the side like Hale and whatnot, but the main ones. For Cody thinks that one's, well, I don't know how plausible it is that he would act like that because he's a nothing character, so we don't really know anything about him. But the scenario presented is one of the more like the reaction from the fake information seems fairly justified. So I give you like a 50% ratio, which is a failing, by the way.
It was they, as well as several
failing
of
grade,
you, who stepped out of line. Am I wrong?
That's not...
Oh, sure. As if you've been such a goddamn saint.
We'd been wondering for some time now. What was it that led you to incite these incidents?
Each and every one was its own self-contained case rooted in people's personal affairs. How would that link back to your ultimate plan, logically speaking?
Here's a theory. The corrosion and distortion themselves are what you've been after. Perhaps the closest we came to the crux of things was the coup that took place on the third day.
How he picked the most random ass fucking people for that? Just corrupt the president, you dummy!
Rather than simply targeting emotional vulnerabilities, as had been done until then, you relied on cheap tricks to induce widespread corrosion.
What do you mean widespread? Like, how does Ashen produce widespread corrosion?
Once we'd gotten 4 of the Genesis back, keeping up appearances was the last thing on your mind. Thanks to that, we managed to edge our way closer to the truth, hiding behind your smarmy little smirks.
To call it hidden is rather an overstatement. Ignorant fools such as yourselves could never hope to grasp my noble cause. It's as simple as that.
I don't need to explain my plan because it's so far above your simple intellect. It's not that it doesn't make any fucking sense and that we don't even really know what we're doing.
Noble cause?
I remember you touching on that a bit. Something about rewriting Calvard's broken history, right?
Sounds like the ravings of a lunatic to me.
I can hardly expect you to comprehend. For the past 100 years, this country's poor, beloved citizens have been forced to tread a history steeped in falsehoods. But soon, I will shatter this illusion and guide the way.
Oh no, it is royalist
Those
propaganda.
who stand in the way of
Sheena
my
Dirk was
hegemony
evil.
will meet a pitiless end. The time has come, Altera. Fulfill your purpose.
But like,
let the howl of the
even if she was evil or like a bad
beginning of a
lady,
new dawn.
like who gives a shit?
Shard corrode. The Grendel's online.
I mean, people should know, but you don't like, I'm gonna destroy the world so that people know the founding lady is not as good a person as we think she was.
Get ready to kick some ass, guys!
This is our chance to put an end to the corrosion, here and now.
He's gonna pay for making a bootleg of my brother. And then, we're taking you back, LP!
I'll take you on.
Damn true, partner.
The dawning of a new world is upon us.
Swin, buddy? Just chilling, or? Okay, so we don't have to care about not dying.
Here goes.
Our time to shine. Zypha activate.
Zypha activate.
Wells within.
Oh, I got the dang evil eye. Remember that? Remember that shit, partner?
I'm going.
I mean, didn't really do that. I keep like, there's no real point to double boosting, right? With your arts characters, or well, I guess anyone if you're not about to S-craft, but it just feels so nice.
Stop right there.
Stay back. Zypha activate.
Tempest. Blade. There.
Here goes.
My follow-up? What the hell? Okay, we want to help these.
It will take more than that to defeat me.
Here goes.
Okay, Grindel's closer to biting it, so...
Stay back! Time for a little payback.
And I think he has... How did he get back here? I think he has attacks that hit the whole screen, so...
Zypha, activate! Stay back!
He's the bigger threat.
Zypha, activate!
Ready yourselves! Annihilate! There!
Now,
He does have kind of cool attacks, even if he is a loser.
Ugh, contumelious little...
Me when I'm getting my ass kicked.
Get him, Ren!
Rude.
I will devour. Your end is nigh.
Got your number. This is gonna be a rough one.
I'm honestly a little surprised we all lived. And I was like, I kind of thought about proccing like pre-AoE healing these guys, but I was like, I'll just do the Athelas and hope it's fast. Alright, let's make it on Nadia.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks a
I may
million!
have bit off more than I could chew.
You're fine. Also, you may be wondering, why are we fighting the Grendel and the bad guy, but not using the Grendel? You may be thinking, isn't that a little weird?
Zypha, activate!
This kind of seems like something we should maybe be doing.
Initialize. Stay strong.
Thanks a million!
There! Generate die! Run! Champs!
I mean, that's kind of sucked they made the Gardenmaster such like they wrote him to be such a loser, because he's kind of cool.
Stay on guard!
Here goes.
Like, aesthetically, I like the blindfold and the hood and the two big-ass swords and everything, but unfortunately, every time he talks, he just says the most cringe-ass shit.
Zypha, activate!
Okay, in theory, we should give Nadia the killing blow, if
Dare
possible.
interfere with my destiny?
Nadia! It's time!
You might kill me,
Zypha, activate!
Power! Dwells within!
or maybe you don't have an S-craft.
Stay back! Zypha,
Ready
activate!
yourself!
My move now.
That's so embarrassing for you, partner. What the hell? IS broke first. That's bullshit. That is absolute nonsense.
Farewell!
I mean, it's fine, even if it kills us.
I may have bit off more than I could chew. They're on their knees! I will not lose!
It's a laser beam and he's stunned. You can't miss. It's impossible.
Come!
An ineffectual endeavor.
Rin stays fucking winning. Finally. That's some redemption for her being a dumbass this entire game. Well, it's not that Rin's uniquely dumb. It's that she's not as smart as she should be in this game. When Rin's in the party, we should literally never fall for any trap, gimmick, or anything like that.
We did it!
Wait! He's still got something up his sleeve.
We're at a time travel standoff.
Was that a rewind?
But like, we'll just rewind if he kills us, and it's
a highly localized one too. And to make things worse, it's enhancing them even further.
Okay, we beat them without even using the Grendel, so like, we're gonna stay winning.
They can do that?
Why so hesitant? You've capitalized on this power countless times yourselves. Were you not resolved to oppose my ardent wish, the way my former compatriots once did?
This asshole thinks he's such hot shit!
We won't stand a chance unless we stop the Genesis and that fairy from empowering him.
That's a petition to have Aaron say this.
This asshole thinks he's such hot shit!
Literally anytime Qasim is on screen. Just after every single time Qasim talks, just,
This asshole thinks he's such hot shit!
But to do that, we'll have to force our way through the Crimson Beast and the Vanguard.
This is quite a predicament.
Hey, Grendel Zolga. I'm gonna ask again. Just who the hell are you? Why let that bastard call the shots when you're the one who holds all the power?
I never thought of it that way.
How pointless. That thing is no one worth mentioning. I merely chanced upon it when I obtained the core of the 8th. It's little more than a replicated spirit that had been dwelling within that device.
He was inside it?
A replicated spirit? Could the system have simulated it somehow?
But like, shouldn't it be weak as shit then?
For real?
Yes. It is a pitiful tool and nothing more. A beast with no name or memory to speak of. And yet, the power of corrosion it possesses has brought me that much closer to realizing my grand ambition.
This asshole thinks he's such hot shit!
What else could this be if not Providence? The great goddess herself has ordained my rule by might.
Are you done? My ears can't take anymore.
Yeah, like, Swin, this is the part where you stab him?
If that guy's just being manipulated, then I can still feel some level of sympathy for him.
Well, is he a person? Like...
The better question is, who are you, Gardenmaster? Ace and I were separated when I was only 9. Until you showed your face, I never connected the dots. And that's despite me being his actual sister. Despite us being so torn that he let himself get corroded. But it turns out my gut was right. There's no way you could ever be my brother. And you can bet your bottom mirror on that. I mean, come on. Everything that leaves your mouth is so cheesy you could serve it with a basket of toast.
Oh, it's not used as an insult now.
What mockery is this?
You spew out words that make you sound big, but anyone can tell how small you really are.
Some might say this asshole thinks he's hot shit.
It's true. I don't think you have what it takes to lead anyone.
The overseers of the gardens, the mafia, the society, all of them had actual substance at least.
The gardens, substance? Nah. That basically less than any substance. The mafia, also no substance. The society? I'll give you that.
In comparison, your ways are twisted and warped. They are sorely lacking in authenticity.
And they're like, you're such a shit-ass villain. I don't know if you should have the characters roast your villain like that.
And most importantly, I can't imagine someone like you ever inspiring Swin's genuine trust.
It's almost like none of this makes any fucking sense.
Just so we're clear, I don't actually care all that much about who you really are. But for your information, my brother did everything he could for me and S until his very last breath. So why don't you drop the act and impersonate someone more your speed next time? You shallow, half-baked hack!
Blasted girl! You dare ridicule me? You son of a... I had intended to spare you out of consideration for my pawn, but no longer. You will leave this world as a sacrifice of the true revolution!
Things people say before they get stabbed in the back.
Stop!
Die.
Think again! You fraud!
Okay, slashed in the back, my bad. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Gotcha! Help me! Unhand me, foolish girl!
Let's go!
Yep.
The 8th Genesis. And now it's all ours. Splendid work.
This is the part where nothing bad happens.
You finally arrived at the truth.
Okay, so it's that he's the real bad guy, and Gardenmaster just thinks he's the Gardenmaster, which is something I did say earlier.
How did you dispel the corrosion that you voluntarily received?
Blame yourself for letting me out of it, Gardenmaster. He was the one who taught me how it works.
No, it can't be.
The corrosion you allowed into yourself is akin to a contract. Once a discrepancy in the terms agreed upon crosses a certain threshold, the shackles that bind you will be released.
I was to accept and obey for as long as you continued to be Ace. So I decided to make a gamble. I waited. Waited for you to do the one thing Ace never would. Raise a finger against Nadia.
Okay, but like, what did you accomplish by helping him in the first place? Because you could have just done that shit without being on his side.
So the man in the coat conspired with you?
Huh?
Well, I had some unexpected help from outside, too.
Wait.
Think of it as a bit of meddling from a distant auntie.
But like, why did he need to... He could have just teleported in regardless.
This should grease the wheels a touch. Now, give him what for, won't you, darlings?
She helped?
That woman always did have an odd sense of duty.
Like, if Swin hadn't have accepted the corrosion, he just wouldn't have stolen the Genesis in the first place, man. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Nadia, I can't tell you how sorry I am. Putting you in danger is awful enough. But I went a step further and hurt you myself.
I always knew you were in there somewhere else. That look in your eyes never changed. It's the same one you had when you said you'd never leave me.
So, in this scenario, Swin's still a bit of a dumbass, right? Because he did believe Ace initially. Right? Because the whole idea of it being his master plan, that he knew he was bad from the start, doesn't make any sense. So it can't be that. So they're going with the Swin believed Ace, but then at some point stopped believing Ace, but he was already corrupted, but he was able to get out of the corruption to stab Ace, who he knew wasn't Ace anymore, but he did think was Ace at one point for some reason.
It was risky. I was banking on breaking out of the corrosion and leaving him vulnerable.
But if you hadn't helped him in the first place, we would have still had all the Genesis. Doesn't make any sense.
I know it was selfish of me, but I figured if anyone would understand.
How could I not, silly?
Poor Altera.
You and me aren't a perfect pair for nothing.
Nadia.
I do like that she's still just holding her. Getting like crushed right now.
This warmth. Why do these two feel so familiar?
They're finally back together.
It only took, what, 4 or 5 time loops?
I guess if you only consider the one each time, because really it's like 12.
We're happy for you both.
You had about 2 deaths per at least, sometimes 3.
Yeah. Now on to our last bit of business.
Wretches, all of you!
So much for that high and mighty attitude.
It's the end of the line for you!
You've lost your false face, the Genesis, and every one of your pawns. This is checkmate.
Now start talking.
And like, why pretend to be
We
Ace?
want to hear all you know
of
about
all-
the
Like, it
incidents
doesn't make
that have
any
happened
fucking
thus
sense
far.
either. Like, A, you pretend to be like Burgard, so you can recruit Van, dummy. You pretend to be Burgard, you get Van, Celise, and Leon for free. Are you stupid?
Once again am I stripped of everything and cast away. History truly does repeat itself. But I won't be belittled by you ignorant masses.
What now?
A swirl of black shards?
He not only assimilated the Merian Garden's resources, but now the power of
God.
Septium as well.
That I am. Even without the Genesis, authority over this domain belongs to
So
me.
is he like a resurrected, like the royal, like the last king or something? Is that what they're going for?
I'm past the need for peons. The true revolution will be carried out with my own 2 hands.
Or like he's Aramis and he feels like he got upstaged by Sheena, which doesn't really make much sense either.
Yes, that's it. Next time will be the one. My ideals shall spread not just throughout the Republic, but to every corner of the continent.
Because I don't know, some of his dialogue has seemed reminiscent, like, you know, or he could be, I mean, not Aramis per se, but like one of the other revolutionary people. I don't, because I know that they mentioned several, so it's probably one of the ones that's not important. I don't know how he's supposed to be alive or have his memory resurrected. Because I'm leaning towards that's what they're going for. Is that he was somebody who was influential in the revolution but has been like lost to history and nobody remembers how important he was, and instead they're just like, Sheena Durka's cool. Which is not a terrible idea in the abstract. Even though it doesn't really make any sense.
What are you babbling on about?
But there is maybe something there.
Interesting.
Not to interrupt, Gardenmaster, but you still haven't answered the question. Remember? Nadia asked who the hell you are.
And like, why pretend to be Ace? Doesn't...
We know you're not the guy she called her brother, or Swin, his partner. But there's gotta be some connection. Else you wouldn't have had the personal details to fool him with.
I'm rather curious about that myself. When you appeared on Nemeth, your words implied a measure of nostalgia.
Only up to this point. Ah, this place brings back so many memories.
Nostalgia? For the island?
That place sucked.
Yes, but it likely goes even deeper than that.
I mean, he does have DG powers, you know, the evil eye and everything, which, I don't know, that's kind of weird, because, like, the evil eye was not a DG thing, it was, like, a Wiseman Joshua thing, but since then, it's been a DG cult thing.
Consider how often he's talked about correcting history, or this true revolution of his.
Then there's his connection to the DG cult, as well as his emphatic dissent against the current republic.
To my knowledge, those qualities coincide with those of the former royal family, who survived by taking refuge within the cult.
Yeah, but that's lame. We already did that. So, do what I was talking about.
But since the cult has its roots in the Middle Ages, it wouldn't be odd if there were other such cases throughout history.
You mean...
Come on. It's just crazy talk.
If it's true, it would mean the impossible has occurred. But think about all the curtains we've pulled back so far. All the unbelievable truths we've glimpsed behind them. I don't have any evidence to prove this, so it may be too far of a leap in logic. But if I had to guess at your identity, one person sticks out in particular. The man who supported Sheena Dirk during the Democratic Revolution 100 years ago. The gifted thinker
Is
who
it
ran
Aramis or one of the ones we don't
creating
know?
a reign of terror before being put to death.
Oh.
The figure every Calvardian knows.
Do we?
Whose ideology aligns all too well with yours. Auguste Alden.
Who the fuck is
That's
that?
who you really are, isn't it?
Well, I mean, that doesn't really fit with what I was saying, if he's apparently famous. But...
To think the day would come when someone of this era would refer to me by that name.
I mean, I got the idea, at least, that it was a Sheena Dirk collaborator, but... Still doesn't really make much sense. And, okay, he's Auguste.
As you say, I am Auguste Alden.
I do not remember them ever mentioning anything about
years ago, I hoisted my ideals
the revolutionary being put to
and
death.
rose up alongside
I mean, I get what they're
Sheena
going
Dirk
for,
and
like he's like a
Nicole.
Robespierre analog, but...
What?
Or, yeah, I mean, well, it could be a lot of French revolutionaries, but, you know, it's probably the most famous example.
It's like what happened to Gerard Dantes.
Or the Emperor a few years back in Crossbell.
What? What do you mean it's just... Oh, like getting resurrected.
Except this time, it's a whole lot worse.
Hold on. Can we back up to what he just said?
As far-fetched as it sounds. You admit it, right? You're the same Auguste Alden from a century ago. The Revolution's resident philosopher.
I mean, this would hit harder if we had really... Because, I mean, they mentioned it, I guess, in the books. But, like, you know, Sheena Dirk is mentioned quite a bit. Aramis mentioned a decent amount. And then there were, like, 2 other people who nobody knows. But apparently they're famous. Because, like, I feel like the idea makes more sense if it's like he feels like he's been overshadowed. But no, instead he's like, he turned into a bad dude after the revolution and they had to kill him. Which is fine. Like, it's a fine idea to explore the, you know, how revolutionary movements can often be like self-consuming, or a lot of the times the people that are willing to use very radical methods to achieve their goals end up still being quite radical when they've accomplished their goals. You know, if you're willing to get into power with violence, you're generally going to be willing to use violence to maintain power.
Yes, although I made no particular effort to hide it. I simply wished to avoid any undue confusion. Moreover, my name has long been besmirched.
Has it?
As that of the mad philosopher who betrayed the mother of the revolution.
Because, like, I don't know who you fucking are, dude.
You were executed as a political offender. Yet for some reason, here you stand before us. Would the cult happen to have anything to do with that?
Like, I don't know. I feel like it would hit better if it was Aramis or something. Because at least he's someone we hear about a lot. And like maybe the idea is that Aramis was like a full-on piece of shit, but over time, like his you know, all the bad stuff he did got hidden. And so they created this, you know, image of him as this like artsy philosopher, because I think of him as the artsy philosopher dude. So having Aramis be that guy, but we just kind of hid all of his crimes, would maybe make more sense. Or if it was this Auguste dude, you know, as I was saying, he was very vital to the revolution, but for whatever reason didn't get credit, and kind of like has a lot of resentment over the fact that Sheena got to be the mother of the nation, and Aramis is the dude who, you know, is the artsy guy with the academy, and nobody knows who the fuck he is.
Yes. Though my relation to them was merely that of a parasite in its host. 100 years prior, I
Which one do you
joined
think he is?
Sheena and her followers in standing against
Think he's
the
a sword guy?
atrocities perpetuated by our
Because I do
monarch.
remember them mentioning a general dude. So he's either long nose or I don't know. I feel like Aramis should be smart. I mean, I guess dude behind Sheena on the left, that's Aramis, I would guess. He does look kind of evil though, so that could be Auguste. Like he looks more. Dude on the far left looks more overtly evil. Long nose just kind of looks a little unpleasant.
After a fiercely fought battle, we won our freedom. Every one of us rejoiced, drunk off the prospect of a new age. But this jubilation was short-lived. In the wake of the revolution, it soon became clear that my ideology differed from that of my former compatriots.
Okay, so he was the evil-looking dude who could have seen it. Ooh.
My disquiet over the Republic's
I like the
future
guillotine
drove
back
me
there.
to forcible methods. Sheena and the others opposed this, and the mindless multitude
Like it's kind of low-key, but I mean, you can see like the bloodstains and everything too. That's kind of sick.
I was ultimately labeled a traitor, placed in irons, and sentenced to capital punishment. But in time, by means unknown to me, I awoke. In the darkest recesses of a gloomy cellar, my consciousness lived on. It had been absorbed, zeal intact, by an artifact under the possession of the then active cult. For the next century, I continued to leech off of them, undetected, and observe the world from the shadows.
Like, why pretend to be Ace? How the fuck do you even know who he is?
After the destruction of the cult 11 years ago, I was transferred to my new host, the Gardens. Upon their annihilation, I secured an extraordinary simulacrum the overseer of the Garden of Thorns had secretly taken the initiative to create.
Okay.
He had chosen the ultimate template from their vast accumulation of data. The matured body of the Ace of Swords. In addition to that was the core of the 8th Genesis, which he had received from Almada's leader and stored connected to the network. With it, I pilfered the continent's leading AI and developed an altered high-performance hollow, as well as the beast clad in crimson armor.
Real finished the rest of the fucking owl plan explanation here. So, okay. He's like in a fucking thingy, right? He's in a thingy, and he's like aware, but he can't do anything. Then, what's his name? Green guy made a similar acrum. So he made a copy of Ace for some fucking reason. Nobody knows. And then he possesses that body somehow, some way. Who knows how? It doesn't matter. And then also along the way, I got the core of the 8th Genesis. For some reason, I don't know what the fuck that is, even though it would have been invented after I died. Also, got all the Armada stuff, connected to the network. You know, stole the AI somehow, who knows. Got a crazy good holo, and I just found this Grendel guy. Like, it's really fucking... It's finished the rest of the owl, man. Like, how'd you do all that? I just did it. You know how it is.
Every part was in service of correcting Sheena's self-righteous revolution, of repainting history as it ought to have been.
And it's like, it doesn't... I also feel like it falls a little flat, because you're doing the whole, like... Because, like, if you're gonna do the whole, like, misguided revolutionary thing... So it's like, he's just evil from the start, right? It's not like a situation where he's, like, somebody who was really, like, wanting to push Republican ideals. Like, he was concerned with the greater good, right? Because if he was concerned with the greater good, he would be like, oh, well, it all worked out. Ultimately, people seem pretty happy. I'm glad. Or whatever. But he's like, no, the world's too good. It needs to be shitty. It's really shitty. I don't like it. Everyone is too happy. There's not enough pain and suffering. Because, I mean, that could be kind of interesting, right? Like, somebody who got... I mean, to use the full-on, like, Robespierre, like, analog, right? Someone who's, like, so obsessed with creating the perfect country that they're willing to kill a lot of people in the process. But he doesn't really seem to care about doing anything other than being evil.
While it's awfully hard to believe, there are no holes in his story that I can see.
Auguste, the philosopher. His obsession knows no bounds.
But, like, what was he obsessed with? You don't... Just...
My prosthetics were also fashioned after simulacra. So even the Gardens was researching them.
Like, another this is falling flat, because, like, what was the differences in opinion? What did he want to do that Sheena didn't want to do, other than just, like, use force? Like, they keep doing this shit where they bring up politics, but they won't go into it.
It was Melchior. He made an aged-up clone of Ace, all on a whim.
Yeah, of course he did that. Why not?
As if his sense of humor wasn't sick enough. Not that stealing Lapis and creating that Crimson Beast is any better.
Then came the incidents that arose throughout Calvard, due in part to the Oathbreaker's aid.
It was you, then! You were the one behind them all!
Indeed I was. By using the Crimson Corrosion to weave impossible causalities together, I sought to destabilize the very fabric of space and time. Doing so will grant me a foothold from which I can rewind the Republic and all of Zemuria by 100 years.
Okay. I can somewhat vibe with that. Counterpoint. Did you know they invented the internet? Like, would that change your opinion? Because if you go back 100 years, shit's gonna suck fucking ass, dude. Like, it's gonna be really boring. And you might just end up getting your head chopped off again. So you could just be like, hey, I kind of wish my reputation was a little bit better, but man, browsing this image board's pretty fun. Or whatever it is you'd probably do. Which, I mean, he'd be a radical, right? He'd be,
Aramis, Olga, Sheena, gaze down upon
Olga,
me
that's
from
the general
Aetios'
guy.
kingdom!
Kinda remember his name.
Watch as I actualize the ideals you shut your
What are
ears
those
to.
ideals?
The unshakable republic that should have been!
Because, like, the Republic's still around, man. Like, you need to give him real, actual grievances.
In correcting the course of this continent, I shall engulf this malformed narrative you have spun!
He's finally shown his true colors. Now you can see your enemy for what he really is.
A big fucking loser? I already knew that.
Yeah, We're basically up against the dark side of Calvert's history.
I guess.
But so what?
I don't know. Okay, so once again, putting the editor's hat on. There's something here. It's like they have an idea, and in the center there's something good, but unfortunately it's covered with a lot of nonsense. So I'm trying to get to like the good part, because there is a part of here that I like. The idea of a disgraced revolutionary wanting to like write history and claim his, you know, that he was important. So I feel like this maybe works better. First off, it's not Auguste. Fuck Auguste. Nobody knows who this fucker is. It's Aramis, alright? So it's Aramis, because those are the only two revolutionaries anybody knows. Literally, I think the only way you would know the name Auguste is if you did the book side quest. If you don't do the book side quest, you have no clue who this fucker is. So there's so it's Aramis. And so what it is that the revolution was success. One of the problems is that it's only been 100 years, but so it's like memory wouldn't get that distorted. But say Aramis was part of the revolution, and he was not actually a happy-go-lucky artist, fucking philosopher dude. He was kind of like a piece of shit, really 100% committed to the Republican ideals at any cost. He'll burn the country to the ground to build a new one, basically. Causes conflict with Sheena Dirk and like her faction, who would be like the more, you know, let's not murder people faction. The revolution is partially successful due to Aramis's really harsh methods and uncompromising principles. You know, that's the reason the country is kind of able to come out and be stable maybe initially, is because Aramis is willing to be the bad guy. And Sheena isn't. And so ultimately, once the country is stable, Aramis is like this thorn in Sheena's side, where you've got this like monster who's important to the revolution, but also not really a good look. So they come up with some way to, you know, get him executed. And then from that point on, we kind of just treat Aramis more as a footnote in history and push up the importance of, like, say, the moderate faction of the revolution. There's something to that. This, where he's like, I'm evil from the start, and I wanted to kill people, and now I'm in the future, and even though things are mostly okay, I still want to kill people, go back and make...
All you do is ramble over what happened a century ago. Ever hear about leaving the past in the past?
You posed as my brother, tortured S, and held LP hostage. All for your stupid little grudge. Gotta say, I don't think I've ever been this ticked off in my life.
Same goes for us. You hurt so many and trampled all over their pride.
Wait, not even when the Emperor tried to kill you, Nadia?
Or something no Grimcat could ever let slide.
Managing this crisis is my duty to Marduk. And above all, as a member of Arkwright Solutions.
So you're a ghost, tough shit. That doesn't put you above your just desserts.
Exercising a century's worth of spite? Sounds like a rip-roaring blast to me.
Everywhere I go, the cult's traces follow. But I'm through running away.
In order to preserve the present we've seized for ourselves, I'll crush the past as many times as it takes.
And I refuse to let the Genesis bring any more grief and disaster to others.
How the fuck does he even know what a Genesis is, man?
No matter what.
Losing isn't an option. Hold nothing back, everyone. No exceptions.
But of course, you have my full support.
Okay, Kincaid's super like, I'm Kincaid. He's like, I don't really got shit to say here. I'm just here, man.
Such arrogance for a band of criminals coddled by a misbegotten history. My new dawn has no
there's
further
some
need of
stuff here.
Now vanish into
I
the
do kind of
annals
like
of obscurity.
him being 100 years old, and that's why he talks you know, quote unquote fancy.
You bet. Let's do it, guys. This jackass has had things go his way for too damn long. So now, we're gonna even the score in one go!
Right! So, like, there's almost something here. It just needed, like, a few more editing passes. Swin, get the fuck out of my party, you loser. You're not off the shit list, Swin. I'm not. It's still not entirely clear if you're a dumbass or not. So stay back there. Okay, we should call it. My CP?
A new dawn is on the horizon.
Yeah, you keep saying that. I get it. The game's called Daybreak, but it's the true Oblivion halter. I'm always saying that shit, man. Okay, it's just the version of that. Alright.
To the shadows of history.
We're going to... He does have a lot of HP. We're going to call it here. And next time, we're going to fight Auguste. Who's, he's a dude. Or whatever.
Got this in the bag.
I don't know. I think the moral of the story is the game as a whole, I mean, it just needed like 4 or 5 more editing passes. Because it feels like they came up with the plot the same way I'm coming up with my edits to the plot. Which are like very off the cuff, kind of like, I'm literally just trying to think of something on the spot. You know?
Vanish into the shadows
like
of history.
Like there was no editing pass on the plot of this game. Seems to be the main issue because there's like things that could be good.
Got this in the bag.
It's like they just did the brainstorming session, they threw out a bunch of ideas and then never really thought them through that much. Just kind of like,
Stay on the offensive.
This concept seems kind of interesting because there's a lot of interesting concepts, but the actual details
Vanish into the shadows of
are
history.
whatever. I think we're gonna make him dizzy.
Make it count.
But alright. I'm XG's87, stay tuned for the next part, and bye guys.